We're now looking at examples 2 and 3 in section 1 of chapter 11. For this first problem, it says the base of a triangle is twice its height and the area is 36 square inches. So we want to find the base and the height. Best thing for you to do is, as shown in this picture, we know that the base is equal to 2 times the height, so we're literally saying b equals 2 times the height. So if we call this h, this would be 2h. If I want to find the area of the triangle, the area is equal to 1/2 base times height, and we know our area is 36. We know that the base is 2 times h, and we know the height we're just going to call h. So the 1/2 and the 2 cancel here. We end up with 36 equals h squared. If we square root both sides, this is h equals plus or minus 6, but the minus 6 won't make sense in this case. So our height is 6. Our base would be 2 times the height, so 2 times 6, or 12. So this is 12 inches, and this is 6 inches. And again, 6 inches here, 12 inches here. Okay? So h represents the height, the base is 2h. We write our formula, we plug everything in, we simplify, and we get our answer for h. Our height is 6, our base is 12. Here's another problem similar to that. We're given the area and we're given the height, and we want to find the length of the base. So our formula for a parallelogram, the area is base times height, and we know our area is 153. We know that the height is 17, and our base is here. So 153 equals 17b, and so if we divide both sides by 17, we get the base equals 9 inches. Sorry, that should be a b there. Okay? So it's 17 inches by 9 inches. And here's another one. I'm going to do it slightly different from the way the book does it, just because I recognize that this is a 45-45-90 triangle. In order to figure out how many gallons we need, first we need to figure out how many square feet this surface is right here. So we have 2 areas. We have the area for that rectangular piece, and we have the area for the right triangle. Okay, so we're going to figure out both. The area of the rectangle is pretty easy. It's just base times height. In this case, 26 by 18. And that is 468. That would be square feet. Having some troubles here. Okay. For the triangle, we need to do a little bit of work. Hopefully you can recognize that this is a 45-90 triangle. Okay. If that's a 45-45-90 triangle, this side is the ARAD2 side. So we know that ARAD2 is equal to 26. Oops. And if we divide both sides by rad2, we get A is equal to 26 rad2. If we multiply both top and bottom by rad2, we end up with A is equal to 26 rad2 over 2. But remember, the 26 and the 2 can simplify, so we get 13 rad2. The area of the triangle is 1/2 base times height. Now remember, the base and the height have to be perpendicular to each other. So since this is since this is 13 rad2, and that's also 13 rad2 on this side, and those are at 90 degrees, we can say it's 1/2 13 rad2, which is our base, and 13 rad2, which is our height. That's going to be the same as 1/2 169 times rad 2 times rad 2 is 2. So the half and the 2 cancel. We end up with 169 here. We want the total area. So the total area, sorry, let me try that again, would be these two added together, so it's 468 and 169. If we add those two together, we end up with, I'm going to use my calculator here, we end up with 637. So it's 637 square feet. Okay? A little bit easier. So I'll show you what they did. We're finding the length of the triangle. They used Pythagorean theorem since the two sides are the same. Kind of a longer way to do it. And they didn't even simplify the radical. This would end up being 13 rad 2. And the area of the barn is the two together. So it's, here's the area of the one, here's the area of the rectangle and the triangle. We end up with 637, which I believe is what I got. Yep, that's what I got as well. And we want to figure out how many gallons we would need. Well, we know it's 637 square feet, and from what I remember, 350 square feet per gallon. So it's 350 square feet per gallon. So in order to figure out how many gallons, we would have to divide these two. And that ends up giving us the number of gallons. If we divide those two, we end up with 1.82 gallons. Let me move that out of the way. Okay. And the reason for this, by the way, is if you have feet squared divided by feet squared per gallon, remember that's the same as feet squared times the reciprocal of that, which is gallons per square foot. And those cancel. We end up with gallons here. Since we can't buy 1.82 gallons, we would buy 2 gallons of paint. So again, they're using unit analysis, but it's the same thing. We would divide those two. We'd end up with 1.82 gallons, which ends up meaning we buy 2 gallons of paint. So, whoops, let's back that up now that we have the answer. It says, suppose there's a window in the side of the barn. We want to know the approximate area now. Well, we had 637, I believe. And if we have a rectangle in there that's 5 by 10, the area for that rectangle would be base times height, or 5 times 10, which gives us 50 square feet. Now this would be 50 square feet we wouldn't want to paint because it's a window. Therefore, we would want to subtract out that 50. If we subtract out the 50, we'd end up with 587 square feet. Okay? And there it is. And we're done. Thanks.